and they're off. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to beautiful Belmont Park. A mix of sun and clouds right now. The temperature today will be in the 50s. The main track is fast, the turf courses are firm, and the portable rails are up at 27 feet on both the widener and the inner. We have a jackpot carryover in today's Empire 6 of more than $256,000. There are no changes in today's first race. Second race, scratch 1A, Take It Off, and 7, Amalfi Princess. In the second, scratch 1A and 7. Third race, scratch the 2, Dazzling Speed. Scratch number 2. In the fourth race, scratch 4, Bossy Bride, 6, Cristal, and 9, Solitary Gem. Scratch 4, 6, and 9, and note that number 2, Go-Go Shoes, is 1 pound over. Race 5 begins the Empire 6. Scratch the 7, Our Flash Drive. Scratch number 7. No changes in the 6th. Seventh race, couple of scratches. Scratch 6, Malibu Anthem, and 13, Miss Moon Pie. Scratch 6 and 13. No changes in the 8th, and no changes in today's 9th race, the Grade 3, Athenia. 10th race, scratch the also eligibles. 13, Amos, through the 16, Let Me Have It. Scratch 13, 14, 15, and 16. Main track fast, turf courses firm. Jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 stands at $256,638. We'll come back at 12:10 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 12:40. Up next, the Sunday edition of Talking Horses with Acacia Courtney and Anthony Stabile.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome to Talking Horses on Sunday as we wrap up the racing week. Of course, Talking Horses, as always, brought to you by Saratoga Water.
Almost pulled it off yesterday, the filly in the 5th.
That's right. She ran really well. You should be dancing.
Really well. She should
very,
be dancing,
very well.
yes.
Big performance. Big closing run from a couple of 2-year-olds in there, but one to watch for sure. So we were, of course, cheering for our friends. Adam
and Carol, yeah, they almost pulled it off yesterday. Almost pulled it off, but she's run well enough in the winter. I think we'll have some fun with her over at Aqueduct this year.
I like it, for sure. As we get ready to wrap up the week of racing at beautiful Belmont Park, we have some stakes action coming up a little bit later on, as yesterday was, oh, by the way, as I got distracted, I'm Acacia Courtney. This is Anthony Stabile. We are the A-Train.
We are the A-Train, yes. And I know I get Kingpin a lot for this outfit. Acacia and I really didn't dress up for Halloween, even though it's a week away.
I feel like I'm like the Real Housewives, like
could
my
be
little muff or
looking for a Spice
here.
Girls 2020 revival. I don't know.
Oh, we should dress up as the Spice Girls. That'd be fun.
Okay, I'm in. You don't have to twist my arm.
I know, that's why I said it.
Although she did tell me I was old today.
I thought he said he was cold, to be fair,
yeah.
Which it is a little chilly today, but the sun is shining, so we're happy about that. It looks like we're going to slide through with the rain, not expected till a little bit later on tonight, which is good news, of course. But yesterday, Empire Showcase Day here at Belmont, and some really big performances from those New York breds.
Mr. Buff, man. How cool is Mr. Buff? You know, we both picked Chestertown yesterday. And I bet on Chestertown, and I said to myself after the race, I bet Chestertown at 6-1 and let Mr. Buff pay $9. What kind of, I mean, there's a scruple that's just, there's something rattling around the old duder's head that just doesn't make any sense. Mr. Buff paid $9 yesterday. It was so cool to see him just do what he does best. He took the fight to those horses early on. Seafoam tried to go to the lead with him. Mr. Buff said, my yard, my man. This is still my yard. I might not have run well against them Improbable, and I might not have run against Breeders' Cup chalks, but I'm going to handle you guys. I'm going to show you that the big dog's still going to eat in his yard on New York Bred Day. That was a cool performance. A lot of good performances yesterday. A lot of good performances. That's the one that I think everybody, and it leaves you scratching your head. How does he pay $9? Right, from a handicapping and a gambling point of view, it's like, how did Mr. Buff pay $9 yesterday?
It was good to see him get back to his winning ways. I love speaking to John Kimmel after the race, and he told me the story about Friend or Foe, the stallion, where Mr. and Mrs. Broman said, we'll sell him for $1, breed 3 mares to him, and they get Mr. Buff.
Unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Great story.
Millionaire New York bred. First stakes win as well for Danny Velasquez, who swept the 2-year-old races, in fact, taking both the fillies and the colts division earlier on in the day.
Yeah, they came up ready to roll yesterday. Great performance from Tribeca. Another race. That race unfolded exactly how we thought it would. Yeah. 3 across the track for the first 1/8 of a mile. 2 of them duel into the 3/8 pole. I don't know where he found that other gear from, but right around the 3/16 pole, he ran back away from Steam Engine, and it was all over. That was a nice performance from him yesterday.
Big performances all around the day as we saw the New York breds in the spotlight, which is always fun. A great day of racing. We hope that you enjoyed watching from wherever you are, as we have one more day of racing in the week. We're not done quite yet, and we hope that you are Ready for all of the action with your Naira Bets account. If you're not signed up, well, you should be. As always, we've got some great promos for you. As we are now under 2 weeks away from the Breeders' Cup, November 6th and 7th. As this offer is good through the Breeders' Cup, you can get a $25 free bet with promo code CUP25, plus an up to $200 sign-up bonus when you deposit into your Naira Bets account. So visit nairabets.com for more details to get ready for that. We also have a little promo for you. That's Belmont and Lone Star here on Sunday. Bet $50 at each track, and you can get a $10 bonus. So you can get some action here, get some action in Lone Star as well.
That's app only, folks. Don't forget that. You got to do that on your Naira Bets app. I don't have a lot of apps on my phone, but that is certainly one I have, and that promotion must be played through the app only.
Take a look at that. As always, you can check out the details on nairabets.com, but as Anthony mentioned, make sure you have the app and you're ready to roll for all of that action. We have a nice race to kick things off here on Sunday as we get started. Fillies and Mares in the spotlight for the first race here, Anthony. We have a nice allowance going a mile on the main track, and Mrs. Danvers, even money on the morning line. Getting out of the gate has been her question all along, and they put the blinkers on today. As we take a look at the start of her last race, she's the 2, just off a touch slow, gets knocked around, and sometimes you see a horse that gets bumped at the gate. Oftentimes that's because they're not out quite sharp enough.
It is a combination of the horses surrounding them, but it also is when you have that little bit of the glitch as soon as the gate opens, and you can see she's done it a couple of times now. She's almost mistiming that starting gate. These horses are creatures of habit. When they go to the gate in the morning and they're prepared, like Hall of Fame trainer Suge McGahee gets his horses ready, you know, they grow accustomed to things. She just mistimes the gate sometimes. This is something she's going to need to get over at some point if she wants to try to get to the place where I think a lot of people thought she could get to. I mean, Suge ran her in the test 2 starts back. So, you know, they're thinking there are some big aspirations for this filly. At some point now, at the end of her 3-year-old year, I hate to put it as harshly as this, but it's time to put up or shut up.
Yep, this is the day. This should be the spot, and C'est Moi has some ability. But you feel like Mrs. Danvers, who was the buzz horse of Saratoga 2019, before that debut, where she lunged at the start, kind of, you give her a pass there, it's her first race, and then came back to win. And yes, she faced some really good horses in her last couple of starts, but last time out with that slow break, and then there in the stretches, she was the inside gray. She ended up beating ahead behind Thankful. Blinkers on, so we'll see if that does the trick today, as C'est Moi to the inside will stretch out slightly to the mile. She feels like more of a one-turn horse.
Yeah, they've tried her with the mile on the 16th around the 1-turn here at Belmont Park. She got beat, she got tired late, but she ran behind a nice filling, and Spice is nice. They tried her around 2 turns in Saratoga. That did not go well at all. So you see Belmont immediately cut her back to the 7/8 at Saratoga. That's the longest 1-turn race we have at Saratoga. She ran okay. You know, Timely Tradition ran really well yesterday afternoon here, just getting beat. Look, Union Maiden came back to look real good at Keeneland last week. I don't know. I don't know what to do with her at this point. I don't know if a mile is what she wants to do either. I think, you know, but it's a short field. She's drawn inside. She has a little pace to deal with in Invaluable, who set a pretty strong early pace last time and just kept on going, but water gets a little deeper for her in here.
Absolutely, and Invaluable's been good in our last couple. I agree with you. I really just, from a physical perspective, I've always preferred C'est Moi kind of at that 7 furlongs. But I think sticking with the 1-turn mile should be okay for her. And as far as the trouble for C'est Moi last time, she never looked to me to be really comfortable in between horses. And that was kind of the running up on heels and some of the trouble that she had last time. I wonder if they just try to send her from the inside today.
That's probably the move, but I can't imagine with the success Invaluable had last time that they're going to be trying to take any 2-hole seats to anybody today.
That'll make things interesting, but all eyes will be on Mrs. Danvers to see, A, if she gets out of the gate well today, as I'm turning into Cousin It with the wind. And we'll flip the page with the 2-year-olds coming up next. 6 furlongs on the inner turf in this maiden special weight. And why don't we put the replay up so I can fix my hair?
Yes. And if she turns into Cousin It, that makes me Uncle Fester, so we don't want to do that. So, Francisco, a replay if you would, please.
So enchanting in her debut here back on October 3rd, beating the length to be second.
Made the lead here, right here. And eventually gets cut down by Oyster Box, who came with a nice run between horses. I don't love when these maidens, this is something Andy pointed out to me a couple of years ago, and I've paid a lot of attention, and he's more, this tastes like vinegar coming out of my mouth, but he's more right than wrong when it comes to this. When these maidens make the lead, and it's a little worse when you go into the claimant ranks. When these maidens make the lead and don't close the door, it's ordinarily a bad sign. Now, this is a 2-year-old filly, ran first time out for Chad Brown, who, if we're being honest, as many things as Chad does well, the turf sprint firsters, the debut horses in the turf sprint, they ordinarily need a race. This filly ran really well, and just was unfortunate to get cut down late in the game. I think it looks worse because she was the favorite last time out, but a lot of Chad's first-time starters are favored. She makes a lot of sense in here, but I'm not going to tell you that the fact that she didn't finish the job last time doesn't bother me a bit.
I agree. I scratched into her. I originally had Amalfi Princess on top in here, who's out of the race, and so that was a bummer for me because I thought I was going to get a little bit more value on that one. I don't love picking So Enchanting in here. She did run very well. We'll see if she can take a step forward and improve. The question is, and your top pick, Honey Pants, took some money first time out. She's going to try the turf today.
Yeah, she takes money. Cairo Prince, they're better on the turf from what we've seen so far. I like the fact that Christoph ran this horse 6.5 first time, and she actually cuts back now to go 6. She flashed a little, I don't want to say speed because they went kind of slow early on in her race, but she was tactical enough where, you know, in here it looks like Mun Love is going to have speed. We'll see what the firsters bring to the table as far as speed goes. But I would imagine Manny Franco has this filly a little closer today. She's a big price on the morning line. I think she's 10 or 12 to 1. Yeah, David has her at 12 to 1. Man, you know, in the early pick 4, early pick 5, if you think you're going to get Mrs. Danvers home at as a prohibitive favorite, I wouldn't mind trying to start off with her. So Enchanting made some sense. Coworth Park, daughter of Lee, as well. Todd's worked her continuously. Last 4 morning moves have been on the turf, which I think is a good sign. He gets Louis Saez.
I'm intrigued by the first-time starter Peacenicker in from Fairhill for Mike Stidham. There's plenty of turf pedigree there, being by Air Force Blue, half to multiple stakes place Crescent Drive, who was a 3-time turf winner, half to Mr. Dougie Fresh as well, who won once on the turf. But there's the pedigrees there. Always think this is a dangerous barn to look out for, and thought if this could be a live first, there might be one that'll fly under the radar. Gets Johnny drawn outside. The source has some bullets down at Fairhill where Mike Bass is out of. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't surprise me. I don't think, you know, there are Chad Brown favorites that look unbeatable. I do not feel that way about So Enchanting. So if you want to try a firster at a price, I cannot blame you here. 2-year-olds there in the second as we flip the page for some older horses, 3-year-olds and up in the third race. Here's 6 furlongs on the main track, 35,000 non-winners of 3 condition. And we have a stat for the 5, Sienna Magic, who I kept going back to this horse, and I thought this was interesting. Charlie Baker with a layoff of more than 180 days with dirt sprinters. Sensational numbers and a positive ROI. Very, very good barn. And I thought it was pretty interesting for a horse that had been in good form before the break, coming back off of a long layoff. So, I'm a little surprised this horse isn't in for the waiver today. That's fair. But I'm not sure if you're allowed to enter for the waiver in the condition races. I don't know. So I don't know well enough, with the non-winners of 3 condition. Could be. This horse can obviously win today. This horse has races, and this horse has 3 races. Last 3 races this horse ran would likely win today. Sure. But does he still have them? It's 14 months ago. Yeah. So he comes back a fresh gelding. Dylan Davis climbs aboard. Dylan's done some good work on this horse, a win and a couple of photo finish losses, finishing second, one by a half length, one by a neck.
This horse has been very popular at the claim box. He's been claimed 4 times in his career, and now winds up with Charlie off of that year-plus break. Go in. And certainly a horse you're going to use protectively, but I had a tough time putting this horse on top today.
You went to Wickster's Dream. David Duggan had a nice win here the other day.
Yeah, the other fresh gelding in the race. This horse just, the race 2 back, I feel like, same with Sienna Magic. Horse runs the race 2 back. He's probably going to win today. He'd have to improve off his last race, but even his last race puts him right in the mix today. A little freshening after Saratoga, pretty much running at the same level. Dave Duggan does a great job off the claim in the last 2 years. He's 3 for 10 with a huge ROI on the short numbers, $5.64. Horse was working nicely, a bullet last time right here over the main track at Belmont Park. So I took a look at this line, and I can understand where David having to really scratch his head in here. This would be a tough line to make. Yeah, I think ultimately, Fed Funds is going to be the favorite in here.
I agree.
But I mean, it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Fed Funds is a little interesting to me. He gets back to his sprint races. I think he could be tough. They tried him at the mile and a 16th last time. It was also an A of the N that I think is going to turn out to be a nice A of the N. Yeah. Bill Mott came back with Forza d'Oro. The Drysdale horse Adair ran well. So he's getting a big class relief. He's cutting back in distance. And the barn, which started to meet a little cold, is starting to heat up a little bit now. So mainly 6s and 3s for me. The 8 money ride was a little interesting. First time Mike Maselli getting back to a conventional dirt track at a price would be the horse I try to get into the exotics.
It's an interesting race for sure. I was a little bit intrigued by Southern Bridge back on the dirt in here today. Fed Funds on the drop in class makes a lot of sense, but had been disappointing in the last couple, though running against tougher. I feel like this is a race, and you highlighted it with the morning line, that whoever steps forward today is the one. But you wonder which one is going to step forward.
Right. Do you want the horse with the recency like Fed Funds?
Right.
Or do you want the layoff horses, Sienna Magic in particular, off the big break? Wickster's Dream missed a couple of months. You want horses like that. I sided with Wickster's Dream and Fed Funds.
Tricky little race as we move on to the 4th, a mile and a 16th on the grass for this allowance, fillies and mares. And we'll take a look at the replay. This is Windfall Prophet and Eye of a Soldier in here. Last time out in mid-September, Windfall Prophet was the gray filly on the outside, Eye of the Soldier in the inside, in the green colors in between horses. And the interesting thing about Windfall Prophet is that she broke well and then took back and made that late run, whereas Eye of a Soldier was kind of right there in the middle of the race the whole time.
That's not going to happen today with Joel Rosario aboard Windfall Prophet. I have to imagine that the plan is to break and be a whole lot closer than last time. Problem is, this race shape is very similar to the race shape last time, where there's no, I mean, I assume Go-Go Shoes will be on the front end for Kendrick and Derek Ryan, and then you go from there. You kind of work the race backwards from there. I scratched into Windfall Prophet. I was looking forward to Cristal. Despite the lack of pace, I was looking forward to Cristal coming back. I think she just needed the race last time. She's not. She's out again. So Windfall Prophet just made the most sense for me going forward. I used both Windfall Prophet and Eye of a Soldier. Capital Structure is the, I don't want to say the wild card, but kind of the fresh face to this bunch, right? Big maiden score at Monmouth, saw a 2-month break, came back here at Belmont. Didn't get any pace to run at. Again, worry about that a little bit because doesn't look like she's going to get a lot of pace to run at it here again today. But if you didn't really love that race last time, and those horses all bunched, right? Lashara, Fetching, they were all within a length and a half of each other. I know a lot of people don't like betting horses out of races like that. To me, she's your only other option in here. capital structure, unless you want those fillies from the September 18th race. If you don't, you have capital structure, or you're trying to get a big price home. Maybe you're trying to get Go-Go Shoes home loose on a lead. You put a fourth. I mean,
yeah,
look,
she could,
we've seen stranger things happen, right? She can go wire to wire, I guess.
That's fair. I felt, and I thought the replay was pretty keen that Windfall Profit was taken back. I felt she was going to be closer today, and that hopefully Go-Go Shoes wouldn't be left alone on the front end to just kind of walk the dog out there. But tactically speaking, I felt Capital Structure just kind of ran in place last time. And I think it's important to note, too, that Capital Structure debuting at Monmouth, it's not a negative. Chad Brown has a lot of horses. We've seen horses start at Monmouth for him and come and do very, very well.
Monmouth, yeah,
come and do very well in the New York circuits as well. It keeps a lot of them spaced out, too, and a lot for Klarovich Stables as well. You don't want all of them running against each other.
Correct. Yeah. So, I wouldn't look at that as negatively as I used to. I did. I used to look at it negatively, and then they started coming in here and cracking my head open, so I stopped believing in that theory.
There you go. Well,
you learn.
That'll change your mind.
You live and learn.
Live and learn. We'll turn the page to race number 5, 6 furlongs on the inner turf, maiden special weight for the 2-year-old fillies. We'll start with the replay of the number 3, Evie Jets, who is turning back in distance, but this was a strong debut for Tony Jetro, who had a first-time starter. As we look, she broke really well. She broke running here, and then she's going to have a little bit of trouble early on in the race, where she does end up being kind of headstrong. She's taken back, she's pulled back, and over the last couple of months, we've seen Eric Cancel let horses have their head a little bit more. I hope that's what we're going to see here with Evie Jets, especially now that she's turning back. Just let her run.
I want nothing to do with it today.
Okay.
Big price last time. I don't love the race she's coming out of. I don't like the cutback. You know, the cutback from a mile to 7, mile to 6, with a filly that looked like she needs more ground, if anything else. I assume the hope is going 6, they're going to get more pace for her to run at, but it wasn't like she was well meant last time. And I hate betting these horses. And she's being asked to do something different now. She's being asked to sprint, and she's going to be 3-1 today.
She'll take a lot more money today. She won't be 37-1, that's for sure.
I don't want her. She's all yours, my lady. She's all yours.
I don't completely trust her either. I think there's a couple other interesting ones. But as far as Turf Foundation, she's really the one in this field that does have that, too, with a good race on the grass. She got a good figure for it. But speaking of Klarovich Stables,
and Chad Brown Monmouth Maidens. Yeah.
There you go. You ask and you shall receive.
I could use a milestone payment in case anybody has one out there. Yeah, this horse is working well down at Monmouth Park. A Loop de Vega, a horse that was brought over overseas, obviously, Tattersalls. A little bit of a guess here. Red Ortiz Jr. is going to climb aboard. I didn't necessarily like the horses that figure to take money in here. I didn't really like Evie's Jets. I'm not thrilled with your top pick, Base Storm.
No.
So I kind of went a little outside the box in here. I thought my Tommy Lee ran well first time out from my man Tom Morley. I think the experience she had back on October 3rd, she's coming back in just 3 weeks and a day. I think that'll help the cause. And third draft, we have seen the Shug McGahee first-time starters, even the ones that don't win, they just all seem to be performing this year. Philly gets Joel Rosario in the boot. She's a little interesting to me today. So I want to try and get a price home here. Milestone payment probably be in the 3-1 range, like Evie's Jets and Base Storm. My Tommy Lee in third draft would be the ones that I'd like to try to get to the winner's circle if I'm alive in the early pick 5 or pick 4.
I almost put third draft on top just because I just didn't really trust anybody in this field, to be honest, especially the ones that have run so far. The pedigree, though, to me on this filly just screams distance.
Yeah.
I mean, she's by Curlin. The original script that Dam produced, Bold script, she was good going long on the dirt. The second dam was great going long on turf. The family's all distance, whatever surface. So I'm just wondering, Maybe, and we've seen Shug McGahee. I think there was a 2-year-old that was like bred up and down for the turf debut on the dirt and win by a pole or something like that. So I trust him. I'm just wondering based off of that pedigree.
I don't disagree because the pedigree is obviously curling.
Yeah.
The bottom was all distance on turf. Joel Rosario's riding this horse today.
Yep.
And I know people think I make too big a deal out of that. There's nobody in the world better at riding turf sprints than Joel Rosario. I think that was done with a purpose.
See if she's live at First Asking. We'll take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and Talking Horses will continue after this.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to the Sunday edition of Talking Horses, presented by Saratoga Water. Okay, Sean Anthony.
Man, I'm sorry. I can't.
Were you laughing at my wind comment?
Wants to know about a wind. Why the wind can't hit her from the front so she can look like Beyonce.
So it's like, you know, my personal fan. It's got to come behind.
I'll take
like
things Andy would never
up.
say for $1,600, Alex.
Anyway.
Anywho.
We're continuing on with the Sunday card. 6 furlongs on, or race 6, a mile on the main track is next, 16,000 non-winners of 2. And looking at this field, we have economic policy. Speaking of Chad Brown, Clarvish Stables in Monmouth, here's a replay of a maiden win for a gelding by Giants Causeway. This was an off-the-turf race. These are tough to trust sometimes. Clearly handled the dirt, second time with the blinkers, and just comes back at what seems to be a logical level for the 16,000.
Yeah, and that would be a great name for this, the Tough to Trust. Yeah, you know, the dirt and done just by leaving this horse in an off-the-turf race. There's not really much. We talked about this before the show began today. There were some races where there really wasn't a lot to say. So it's got to the dirt last time and got the job done. Running against a bunch of horses that have had, for the most part, an awful lot of chances. 1 for 35 at the rail with Quintarelli. Diane's Impossible's 1 for 10. Since My Baby Left Me to 4, it's 1 for 12. My Amangina 1 for 23. So I can go on for another 8 seconds, but I'll spare you. I just want the horses that haven't had a lot of, that haven't disappointed as much, their economic policy, and their Vitesse.
I think Vitesse, just based on the last couple of races, is actually, quote-unquote, the horse to beat. It's just the layoffs in between every race that give me the cause for pause.
Yeah, and they're over they're all 4 months or 4 months or more. So I don't disagree. I guess if you had to label a horse the horse to beat in here, it would be him. For the simple fact that he has 2 dirt races that could win here. I don't know. I guess the wild card is Allied Invasion. This is a horse that has not run particularly well, despite getting out of the maiden ranks in his second start on the turf. He moves to the dirt. You know, he's also a horse that on paper, there's not really a lot of turf pedigree.
Yeah. So.
But that bothers me because they ran this horse on the turf the first 3 times.
And he won.
And he won. So that could lead me to believe that this horse couldn't outrun me down a hill on the dirt. And that bothers me a little bit here. But I'm going to use him.
Blinkers on Allied Invasion, taking a drop in class as we go to the 7th race, a mile and 16th on the turf, maiden claiming for the fillies of $40,000 here. This is another race where you've got some horses that just look tough to trust. I wanted the class dropper in here who hadn't run for this level before. Fly Fight Win hasn't run a step, but blinkers go on, and she's never been exposed for the tag. We'll see if that helps. Giggle Factory's had some legitimate chances in her last couple.
Yeah, I landed with her. Right, last time she kind of lost the race at the start. 2 starts back. I don't know if she had an excuse 2 starts back, but I like her back to the one turn-ish here at Belmont Park.
One turn-ish.
I thought she ran well last time here at Belmont, even after the stumble.
Yeah.
And it's a big rider upgrade to Luis Saez today. I'm expecting a little more aggression today as well.
Yeah, I think she'll be forward in here. She has some natural speed. Obviously, Serling at the start last time, she wasn't able to. But I would think, especially with Louis up, that would be a big benefit.
Yeah, I have to imagine she's going to be aggressively ridden today. And that could very well be enough. Hard won. Saw Leah Giamatti win the finale yesterday with Steelers fans for life. Wicked Happy and Hard won, the two, the 11 and 10 here. I guess they could both win. Wicked Happy to 10, taking a little bit of a drop from the 75, though she's already run for the 40. Hard won. Hard won looks like one of these fillies that needed some starts to just kind of figure things out. She's kind of figured it out. She's kind of found her friends at this bottom level on the turf, and she's been getting checks the last couple of starts. I thought 2 starts back. If she could find the race 2 starts back, she's going to be really tough today. She's going to be really tough today.
70 by her speed figures in her last couple. Her numbers have been very consistent in her last few races, too. I feel like this just might be the right place for some of these fillies.
Yeah, your filly makes some sense. The 4 Kittens Romance. Blinkers went on first off the claim by Dave Duggan last time out. They come right off. Yeah. I like when training. This is why Dave does such a good job. Claims her, makes the equipment change. It doesn't work. Right back to where she started. I thought she ran okay last time with the blinkers, but he wants them off. So I'm assuming she'll be a little less keyed up than she was last time with the blinkers, and I think that all helps Giggle Factory because I don't see a lot of early pace. I don't see a lot of pace in here.
No. You get a couple, fly fight wins, getting blinkers on with the drop. Kittens Romance has a little bit of speed. Kendrick up, blinkers off, which sometimes can help a filly relax too, coming out of the gate. So I think those things should make things interesting. But I'd be very surprised if Giggle Factory wasn't forwardly placed.
Yeah, I think she's gonna run well today.
Race number 8, 6.5 furlongs on the main track for this allowance, optional claiming 3-year-olds and up. And this is another race where who's going to take a step forward today? You like High Velocity. Got some back class on this one.
Yeah. Source was on the Kentucky Derby Trail for a while earlier this year. Ran behind 1,000 Words a couple of times, went in the care of Hall of Famer Bob Baffert, won the first 2 starts of his career. They were sprinting, including the grade 3 Bob Hope. They ran him 2 turns the next 3 times. Well, guess what? Second off the February to September layoff. He is now sprinting again. He's got some, he has some positional speed. He's probably not fast enough to be in front here today with horses like Mogacha and Chateau and even to a lesser extent Pete's Play Call. But this horse's first 2 sprints were really, really good. And he didn't run that much better, if better at all, when he stretched out. Now it's almost a year later. He had a little time to mature. I think he can come with a big effort today. I hope he's in that 4-to-1 range. I mean, that would be a nice price in this horse. I can't imagine he's going to be off the cutback. Kelly Breen, John Atfield do a great job. I think this horse is ready to roll on the cutback today. I like this horse a lot today.
I landed on Cucina, and I'm not overwhelmingly thrilled about it, but I thought he'd be a nice price. And he'd been running on the turf where he's run well and even won, but I've always felt he was more of a dirt sprinter, and that's where he won impressively last time out. I think that there's a little bit more quality in this field that he's going to have to face today, but he certainly doesn't have to face the likes of Yopon, which he did 2 starts back. And if there is some more speed up front, particularly Chateau, Mogacha is going to be forward. We'll see what High Velocity does on the turn back. Could set a nice trip closing.
Chateau is very interesting to me today as well at a price, because Chateau on his best day is the speed of the speed in here. And you saw the first 2 starts that when he was taken, when he wasn't in the Jason Service barn anymore, they weren't very good. But last time out, he dropped them in for 32,000, and Chateau woke up. He ran well enough, and the thing I think that I was most impressed with was the fact that he found his speed again. He was really fast. That was at a time where the Actress Barn was not winning and the horses weren't running anywhere near as well as they are running now. I think that's very important to note. He'd be one of the horses I would absolutely be using in my late pick 4 and pick 5 today. I really like a horse in the next race we're going to talk about. So I'm going to use a lot of 4s. I'm going to use some Chateau. And, you know, Last Judgment, if I'm right and Chateau plans on going on this front-running rage today, Last Judgment gets an extra half a furlong today off the race last time out. You know, Tom Morley claimed this horse from Todd Pletcher. Ordinarily, I don't advise, and I don't bet my money. This horse ran okay last time.
He did, absolutely.
You know, this horse ran okay last time off the claim, and now he gets the extra half.
Come back yesterday.
Yep. So I think Last Judgment has a chance as well, but I'm focusing on the 4 high velocity, and I do worry Chateau may just try and take him flag fall to that's all on the Manny Franco.
Barn's been in a good groove right now as Manny Franco picks up the mount for Rob Atras. The Grade 3 Athenia is up next, a mile and a 16th on the inner turf for fillies and mares. And what a nice field we have assembled here.
Yeah.
It's really a good one. You could make a case for a lot of them. We landed on the same horse, but let's look first at a couple of replays. I believe we have the Monmouth replay first between 2 of the 3 Chad Brown runners in here. That's She's Got You and Altea, separated by a neck in the violet.
Man, She's Got You, second start in the country off an October layoff. Just got beat to Shalor and Stone Tornado here in the debut, then goes over the Monmouth, gets the job done in the violet. You mentioned she beat Althea. Althea in her career has 2 wins from 22 starts with 8 seconds and 4 thirds. So Althea was doing exactly what she wanted to do when She's Got You got by her last time out. They can both win, obviously. I mean, Althea doesn't win, but they can win.
She could be right there.
Yeah, she can get a P if you're betting exactas and tries. Leaving Althea out ordinarily is not a good thing. You know, and then you add Tappet today into the mix for Chad as well.
She's a wild card.
She's a little bit of a wild card in here. She's of the Chads, 3 runners in here. She's the one I liked, I think, the best. You see her coming out of the Swanee River in her 3 starts this year. She ran against Starship Jubilee down at Gulfstream Park. They tried her in the matchmaker when she was close to the pace, and maybe she needed the race off the February layoff in the middle of July. And then she came back last time at Kentucky Downs. She came home at a good clip. Didn't have the greatest trip early on in the stretch, what seems like it lasts forever at Kentucky Downs, and now she gets the 3rd start off the February layoff. She gets Jose Ortiz in the boot. I thought she was the most interesting of Chad's 3 in here.
And we'll see that race as she ran behind Mitchell Road, who was entered in the turf sprint last weekend in the Floral Park, opts to go longer here, going a mile and a 16th, which seems to be more her game as she finishes 2nd, Mitchell Road. We know her game. She has that speed. Tappet today was actually 3rd in this race as well. She's the gray on the outside.
Yeah, you see Tappet today running at them. You see Mitchell Road digging in. That's another Chad Brown Regal Glory outgaming Mitchell Road to the wire.
She's a very nice horse.
She's a nice filly, yeah, for the late Paul Pompa. Look, Mitchell Road is supposed to have things her own way today. I don't know if story time. I don't know how much pressure Sweet By and By is going to put on them here. You know, Sweet By and By is fast early, but the Connections have not minded a target in the past. So looks like you have your target, especially from the rail, especially on this start. Luis Saez is going to take advantage of the mile and a 16th start on the inner turf and protect rail, especially with a filly that does her best work on the front end. So you have to imagine this race is going to line up 1-6, Sweet By and By. Jose Lezcano, you know, he's won over 25 races at the meet by being aggressive.
Yep.
I would have to imagine this race lines up 1-6. And from there, I think Call Me Love takes over at some point on the far turn.
We covered everything else to get to how we think the race might set up, and clearly you and I saw it the same way. I know she was well beaten in the Diana, but if she runs anything, I mean, she was 2nd a neck to Starship Jubilee, who then would go on and win another Grade 1 win. Canadian Horse of the Year, beat the boys.
She beat the Woodbine Mile,
and the Woodbine Mile, a very prestigious race. 2nd behind Rushing Fall. She
perfectly. On paper, very contentious race. A lot of nice fillies in here. Truth be told, I put the 30-to-1 shot's the only horse that Storytime is the only horse that I think would be, on paper, would be an absolute surprise.
I agree.
On paper. And then you look at the running lines. Rushing Fall, Mean Mary. Starship Jubilee, Sister Charlie. Mean Mary, Rushing Fall. None of them have, the rest of them just don't have that. They're running against each other. They're running against lesser. They don't have that. She also has a little bit of an in and out pattern working since she got to America, Call Me Love. And this is an in day. I don't know. I know people don't believe it's malarkey, whatever it is. I believe in that. I haven't put a circle around the horse on my past performances in a very, very, very long time. When I went through the race the first time, I tossed Storytime. When I looked through the race the second time, I put the ring around Call Me Love. And I haven't put a circle in a long time. It was pointed out to me that I hadn't put a circle around a horse in a very long time. I love her today. I really do. The rest of them, I'm going to use spreads in some of the other races because I'm singling her if she goes down. If she goes down today, I'm going down today. That's just how it is. I am married to Call Me Love today.
Well, good thing she's named Call Me Love. Yeah. There you go.
She's got a lot of weight. She's carrying 122. She's carrying closer to 522 this afternoon.
Call Me Love been facing top company in a nice rendition of the Athenia. We'll see if she can get her U.S. graded stakes win as we wrap things up with race number 10, 7 furlongs on the turf, and could be a nice little late double there for Christophe Clement potentially, as we saw full brother Therapist yesterday, run a career best by your speed figure.
He took a lot of money yesterday,
didn't he? Did. Just ran into Some Like It Hot Brown, who's obviously graded stakes winner.
I was wrong about that horse. I didn't like that horse at all yesterday. That horse ran well yesterday. Well, he did.
So did Therapist, though, to be fair.
He did.
Yeah.
Javier was smart, though. He had a horse that was one of the fastest horses in the race. He took the other speed out of the race by getting in front of him. And then when you take that other speed out of the race, like we did with Rinaldi, your lead's not the 2 lengths you have on Rinaldi, it's the 5 lengths you have on the rest of the field.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not math. In that instance, it was math. Yeah. Let me eliminate a horse that has speed and let me put enough distance between me and the rest of them that they're not going to be able to catch me. And that's what it was yesterday. It was a brilliant ride. Listen, the horse was 3-2, but it was a brilliant ride because once he neutralizes Rinaldi, he's just, the race is his. He's got the complete run of the race, and that's what Javier did yesterday. That was a really smart ride because I think on paper I kind of got sucked into, well, this horse is Rinaldi's only game is going to be able to go. He did. He just simply wasn't fast enough, and Javier knew that.
Big performance from Some Like It Hot Brown. Second to him was Therapist, who's the full brother to Fresco, who we both have on top here. In the nightcap, she broke her maiden in the Stallion Series at Saratoga. Coming out of, she's been facing the boys. She ran against the boys 2 starts back. Last time out, back in with the other fillies, was pretty wide in here today. Just looks like it could be a good spot for her.
Yeah, it's her and the filly that beat her a nose in the last time she faced maidens, Silky Blue, who is getting a much needed turn back to the 7 furlongs. She's kind of like the 3 little bears. The mile's too long, the 5.5 is too short. She gets to 7. She gets to 7, and it's just right. I think they're the 2. And to be honest with you, Acacia, I think they're the 2 in here by a long way. I think you can make a little bit of a case for data analytics. I think you can make a little bit of a case for Pure Bodie, but mostly 5s and 8s. I'll have one big ticket with 3, 5, 8, 10, and then I'll come back and fresh with 5s and 8s.
Little rematch a few months later for Silky Blue and Fresco to make things interesting there in the nightcap. And Pure Bodie, as you mentioned, the sister to Pure Sensation. Looks nothing like him, though, in case you were wondering.
It's hard to, it's really hard for me to imagine anyone else winning this race.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I feel like it's down to those 4, and then you could even pare it down to those 2.
That'll do it for the Sunday card.
This was a fun week.
It was very fun. It was great getting a chance to reunite the A train here on Talking Horses. Andy Serling will be back next week. And thanks for having me.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Keisha's birthday tomorrow.
Yes. Tomorrow, the birthday Scorpio season.
She's almost going to catch. She's trying to catch me in age. It won't happen. But I'm old, so.
I
See the
thought you
gray?
said
Where's
you were
the gray?
cold.
The gray's right here, right? There's all gray in here. She's all good, young. It is what it is. It is what it is. Happy birthday. Many more.
Thank you very much. To wrap things up, a birthday present to me, you can sign up for Naira Bets. How about that? $25 free bet. Use promo code CUP25. Plus, of course, up to a $200 sign-up bonus. When you deposit after you sign up, visit NairaBets.com for more details. We also have that 50-50 for you, app only. Sunday here at Belmont and Lone Star, $50 at each track. You can get a $10 bonus for everything. Check out more information on NairaBets.com. One last time, the A-Train signing off.
What time are you on today, America's Day at the Races?
12:30, America's Day at the Races.
Churchill Downs back?
Churchill Downs back today. It's their all 2-year-olds on the card today. They've got a couple of overnight stakes a little bit later on. That's right.
You want a bonus pick?
Let's do it. What is it?
I love Midnight Ballerina in the Rags to Riches today.
Yeah. All right.
Belmont ran really well first time out. She's as big as me, and she won sprinting. She's a daughter of mine. She looked like she's going to want a lot more ground. She's going to be happy
stretching out.
She was good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. From your resident ballerina. I like that. Maybe a nice little hush bet from me as well. Thanks for joining us. Tune in on America's Day at the Races for coverage of Belmont Park and Churchill Downs. Their opening day. Stars of Tomorrow card coming up in a little bit. I'm on early with Richard Migliori. Thanks for joining us, and we'll send it up to the voice of New York racing, John Embrielle, for a reprise of Scratches and Changes.